Hello and greetings. I am Kusum Sarkar. Today we are here with Mr. Anosh Joseph. He is licensed immigration agent and LIA to Student Visa Network. Let's see what he has to say about New Zealand. So let's get started. So why would you suggest a student to take and pursue New Zealand as their studying option?
See, my first answer to the question is another question. Why is New Zealand not being chosen by students in Nepal? So if you look at any other countries, for example, let's say Australia, UK, Canada, US, if you look at all these countries, they have made a lot of new policies into immigration, which makes it hard for them to settle down or move into a further visas. For example, in UK, they have cut down the option to bring the partners. If you go to Canada, they're looking at cutting down the post-study work visas. If you go to US, they are trying to make it really hard for any students to settle down. However, in New Zealand, in the last 12 months, Immigration New Zealand has made a lot of changes, which is actually welcoming migrants into the country. For example, recently they have announced that a master's student who studies in New Zealand gets 6 points on a 6-point SMC system, which is a residence pathway. So they only require a job offer paid at medium wage on a skilled employment to apply for residence. So it is very easy rather than if you compare with any other countries, it is going to be a bit more relaxed, a bit more easier to settle down in New Zealand if you have the right skills and the right attitude and if you're ready to work hard.
So you are basically saying New Zealand is a safer option to choose among all the other countries.
Absolutely. So when you say safer, there is two way of looking at it. So let's talk about being safe in a country, right? So if you look at the crime rate, it is too low compared to any other countries in the world, right? So New Zealand has the best options as well, not just being peaceful. If you want to study engineering, if you want to study nursing, if you want to study something like business, New Zealand has the best colleges, best universities in the world where you can explore the post-study work visa options, which is up to 3 years. You can also bring your partner along with you. Also, your child gets free education as well. So this is like a really good package for a student to migrate, also get all the benefits which they can acquire while they're studying.
So I wonder, why is New Zealand not talk about this often? Like, people talk about all the other countries like USA and Australia. When it is hard to sustain in those countries, why they are not choosing New Zealand in the first place?
People are not talking about New Zealand, but right now they are. So we done an event 2 days ago, and we have so many number of people who wanted to meet us, and I've been discussing with a lot of students in those days. Even it is a peak of Tihar celebrations in Nepal, people did find time to come and meet us in the office. So basically things are changing, things are evolving. Also the market is changing as well. Most of the students are preferring New Zealand compared to any other countries. Also, if you look at the part-time work rights, right? New Zealand has increased from 20 hours to 25 hours from November 3rd, 2025. So it gives you more options to explore the work market in New Zealand, also gain a bit more experience and earn some money as well at the same time.
Yeah, it seems like great option if someone is pursuing to study abroad.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about what's the difference between applying with agent and LIA.
See, there are many agents in Nepal. I'm not talking against any agents, but I wanted to make sure that people understand the difference. An agent's job is to basically represent the client as an agent, also verify the documents from an agent perspective. Agents are not trained by anyone. Agents are not monitored by anyone. Agents can do whatever they want, right? So there is no process in administering what they do and how they work and how good the quality of the work is. But when it comes to a licensed immigration advisor, we studied this, all right? We are licensed by the Immigration Advisors Authority. We are administered, monitored, and also managed by the Immigration Advisors Authority of New Zealand, which is a government agency. So whatever we process, whatever we guide is actually has to meet immigration instructions. We can't just guide from nothing, right? So we can't make it up, right? So when a student comes to us, we always provide genuine and correct information to them because we are authorized to only provide those information being a license holder, right? So when you go to an agent, some agents say, oh, hide your Australian visa decline history, or hide your master's, hide your bachelor's. See, whatever they say to get a visa is going to cost you in the next visa applications or when you migrate to some other countries. If you hide something, you're definitely doing a fraudulent activity. You're false and misleading information to Immigration New Zealand, which it can actually cost further visas, cost decline for further visas. So be careful when you deal with agents, and always be confident when you come to Student Visa Network Nepal. We have a team of licensed immigration advisors, not just me. We process all applications, we verify them through our desk, and we make sure each and every single application meets the quality which has to.
So you are basically saying there's more transparency while applying with LIA?
More transparency, more quality, more systematic approach, and also the right guidance. These four are not something where an agent can offer or provide.
I think in Nepal, people are really running after going abroad, but they are not understanding how much it can cost later. So good guidance, good opportunity, good mentorship could really help them. I think this word should really go out with people, and they can really understand what they should do. Because if not, they are going to be in the loose end, in a rabbit hole. I think you're totally correct in this, and I'm hoping this reaches a lot of people and they can help themselves. Otherwise, it's a doom. So who can sponsor the student?
So the student can be, when you say sponsor, there's two types of sponsors. So a New Zealand resident visa holder or a citizen can sponsor the student and basically fund the student's study and entire finance. However, they can also use a local person, for example, their father, mother, brother who lives in Nepal to be a financial undertaker. And basically they are supporting them in terms of repaying the loan or showing money on behalf of the client or the candidate, I would say. I always say client. Right. So when it comes to an application, these are the two options we have. So if you are a Nepali student who wish to migrate to New Zealand, if you have some cousins in New Zealand, it doesn't need to be really close relative. A sponsor can be anyone, basically. So if they're a New Zealand citizen or resident visa holder, they can sponsor anyone. But we highly suggest it is a first bloodline. For example, your father, mother, brother-in-law, mother-in-law. So any of them will be perfect. Sometimes it may be your uncle. We can still use the uncle. No issues at all. There is no instruction saying we can't use them. So we can always go ahead and apply with those documents. But there should be some documents which we need to produce to make sure immigration accepts the sponsor, which will be taking care of them once you come to our office.
So if someone wants to permanently reside in New Zealand after studying, what is the right way to do it?
See, this is a question which is asked by every single Nepali student who meet me in the events. So every single person wants to, study and then settle down, right? But some may choose to maybe move to Australia after they settle down in New Zealand. That's pretty normal for many. However, if you're someone who wants to come to New Zealand for a study program and then use the post-study work rights to settle down in the country, there is absolutely no issues at all, because Immigration New Zealand has a pathway to residence for students. For example, there are many residence visa options. One is when you finish the study, you get 3 years of post-study work visa, which is an open work permit. You can work under any employer for any time frame, any location, no issues at all, right? So once you are on your post-study work visa, you can find an employment on tier 1 or tier 2 occupation. If you are getting an employment from tier 1 occupation, you only need a job offer paid at medium wage to apply for residence under straight to residence category. Or if you're getting a tier 2 occupation, you need to work for 2 years and then apply for residence. Number 3 option is SMC, which is called skilled migrant category, which is a 6-point system. So if you're coming into New Zealand to study masters, you get 6 points. If you're coming into New Zealand to study bachelors, you get 5 points, right? So that's going to be changed from August 2026. So basically a master's candidate only requires a job offer paid at medium wage, and for a skilled employment, NSCO 1 to 3 or NOL is National Occupation List 1 to 3. Also, then there are 2 other new categories Immigration New Zealand announced, which is also beginning from next year. It's a trades and technician pathway. If you are a tradie or technician, you can apply for residence if you got 4 years of total work experience with 18 months in New Zealand paid at median wage with a level 4 qualification, right? The other one is skilled work experience residence pathway, where if you have a total 5 years of experience where you're paid paid 1.1 times median wage in New Zealand for 2 years, you can apply for residence. Then we have care workforce sector agreement pathway. If you're working as a caregiver or healthcare assistant for 2 years, paid at level 4 rate, which is 28.25 at the moment, you can apply for residence. See how many options are there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So if you can't meet one of these, then you probably won't succeed in any country. So that's the
Yeah.
reality.
Is there any other latest update that students should be aware of?
So these are the last two options which I said. That's the
Yeah.
latest one. So from next year, 2026, they have changed the point system where a master's student now gets 6 points instead of 5 points, right? Also, a bachelor student gets 5 points instead of last time's 3 points. So it is giving them a fast track residence pathway rather than a slow process. So I think it's a major changes which really impact the students. Then also there is 2 new residence pathway also announced. So there are a lot of ways for them to settle down in New Zealand if they channelize their energy into the right things.
So while the whole world is against immigration, New Zealand seems to support it from all the changes that I see.
See, the whole world is against immigration is basically what you see on social media,
Yeah.
right? So no one is against immigration.
They are frustrated.
People are
rather.
against the things which immigrants do in their country. So it's not about fully against immigration because all these countries require immigrants on a daily basis to operate, right? So if a country say we don't need immigrants tomorrow, the country doesn't sustain. However, what they want is the immigrant to basically work with them in the country and understand their culture and respect their culture rather than bringing their own culture into the country and basically ruining the entire ecosystem, which I strongly disagree as well. So I don't really see a
Yeah.
problem with that. However, when it comes to New Zealand is actually facing a lot of brain drain in the last couple of years. Kiwis are leaving New Zealand and they're going to Australia due to several reasons. So we do require a lot of migrants in the country. But when it comes to migrants, it's always not quantity; it's always quality.
Yeah.
So we need the best of the best in the country, not just someone who wants to barely survive and make a living. That's not the option. If you are ready to upskill, ready to learn, ready to get yourself into the market and convince the employers, New Zealand is one of the best countries you can choose.
So basically having civic sense and intelligence. That's what New Zealand needs and that's what
Every
it is searching
country,
for.
every single
Every
country. Yes.
yeah.
Even imagine if I'm coming to Nepal, right? I'm not respecting your religion. I'm not respecting your culture. What will happen? You'll kick me out of the country, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with any country which you go into.
Yeah.
You need to respect the country,
Yeah.
understand the people, also understand their emotions, because we are a guest at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? And when we are trying to settle down in the country, it has to be through respecting their culture, through respecting the people and working with them, not against them.
Yeah. So not try and bend their culture in itself, just
Yeah.
to adopt it.
I mean, get the best thing out of the culture and respect the culture is all you need to do.
Yeah. So what are the top reasons a visa can lead to decline?
So one of the top reasons is you relying and listening to agents, basically in Nepal, because I have come through a lot of applicants. Once they arrive in New Zealand, they come to me with a visa decline, further visa decline, or a PPI letter, right? Usually a PPI letter. PPI is a potential prejudice information which may lead to a decline. For example, a student came to me and he applied for second-year student visa, right? It's a bachelor student, and now he got a PPI letter saying he has hidden his Australian visa decline previously, right? He came to me with that PPL letter and told me that his agent back in Nepal, I'm not going to say which agent is it, but a very popular agent. So this agent told him to hide it, right? So the agent is not having any knowledge that immigration can access those information. Immigration New Zealand is a government agency which shares information with all these countries, so they can get these information. Now the client is in a position where the client has given false and misleading information to Immigration New Zealand. But we have successfully resolved it. However, these are things which may lead to a decline. When you apply for a student visa, be honest with Immigration New Zealand. Do not hide information. If you have a visa decline, that's okay. Just give it to Immigration New Zealand. They'll go through the visa decline and that's it. They're not going to just say, oh, you got a decline previously, now we're going to decline another visa for you. That's not going to happen. That doesn't work like that. So always be honest and be truthful with Immigration New Zealand. Number two is not understanding how the fund system works. For example, if you're applying for a student visa, you require $20,000 living expense for a 12 months program. You're putting the money day before you applying for a visa. Doesn't work. You require funds which are mature, at least 3 months from my perspective. Also, it has to have a source, a clear source where the money you got from, right? But the maturity of the funds are not really that important. However, you need a source to prove. But we always suggest to show a little bit of maturity on the funds for Immigration New Zealand, to believe that the funds are going to be there for the next couple of years or for whatever purpose we are using it for. So the maturity of the funds and the clear evidence of the source is required. Number three is basically not having a clear plan of action. For example, you are a nurse. Now you want to study computer science. You can do that, no issues, right? There is nothing stopping you from taking a program which you like to take. However, what is your intention? Why are you changing the course? What is your what is the reason for that? Immigration New Zealand has to know these reasons. If your agent can't produce evidence or produce a really good statement of purpose for you, because it's a teamwork. At the end of the day, a statement of purpose has to be written by you. But when it comes to an application, we both write it together, right? Because you will get an interview and you have to explain it to the immigration officer. So the agent has to have the quality to write such a really good SOP. So a couple of days before, I saw a video done by an agent saying now Immigration New Zealand doesn't require a statement of purpose. So what happened is Immigration New Zealand changed the entire portal. The portal asks these questions. Basically, it is the SOP right there. You're not producing a Word document, but you are putting those details into specific questions. So the SOP is right there. You have to have a statement of purpose, because immigration is going to ask you what is the reason why you choose this program, why New Zealand, why this particular institutions, and why even this intake, right?
Yeah.
So you have to answer those questions. And just for a couple of clickbaits or a couple of viewers, people say, oh, now you don't need an SOP. You require a statement where you don't need to produce it to Immigration New Zealand, but you have to fill the boxes. Yeah, that's a major three reasons for a visa decline. Always be honest with Immigration New Zealand, always understand the source of funds, and always have a clear pathway or reasons why you choose that particular program.
I think that's only right, because immigration department needs a foundation to look at you and analyze you. And if you're not giving proper details, then how are they to give you a visa in the end of the day? So basically, not to cheat out of your way to make it to abroad. Just not cheat, just keep it transparent, and things will happen in your way. That's what I'm getting from it.
Absolutely. I'll give you a very simple example, right? Let's say you are living with your parents right now. If you want to go to another city, like for example, Kathmandu, right? You need to convince your parents, right?
Yeah.
You need to tell them, why am I going to Kathmandu? What will we be doing in Kathmandu? And when will I return from Kathmandu? How am I going to fund my travel in Kathmandu? These are 4 questions your parents are going to ask.
Yeah.
When you're moving from Budwal to Kathmandu, right? Will they ask you no questions and say, you go and come back? I think they're going to ask you, because
Yeah, of course.
they are the responsible person. Same with Immigration New Zealand. They are going to ask these 4 questions, just like your family. They want to know if you are going to come into the country for the right purpose. You have the funds. What is your intention? When are you leaving the country? And what is the reason for traveling right now? Right? Your parents may ask you, why do you want to go to Kathmandu right now? Can you go do it later? Then you need to produce evidence or reasons why you want to go to Kathmandu right now. It's for Tihar or whatever. So it's pretty same. It's just like convincing your parents. You just need to convince an immigration officer.
So what are the mistakes students make upon arriving to New Zealand?
So the major mistakes are they take the course or the study very light, and they tend to go into partying or spending time with their friends, and doesn't turn up into classes, and leading to a poor attendance and leading to a failure in the course. What happens is when they apply for the next student visa, they may get a decline and they will be forced to come back to New Zealand, Nepal. So be a really good student, because your intention at that point of time is to study. So you have to be truthful, and also number two is basically working outside the working hours. So if immigration is allows 25 hours from 3rd of November 2025, which is in next 2 weeks, but if you're crossing that 25 hours outside the visa conditions, for example, if it's not a holiday, if it's not a normal semester break, you're working more than 30 hours or 40 hours a week, you are breaching your visa conditions. Next is basically getting caught by drunk and drive. A lot of students in New Zealand are getting caught by drunk and drive. Drunk and drive is a serious offense. It will be normal in Nepal, normal in India, normal in other countries, but not in New Zealand. It is a serious offense, will lead to serious problems with your visas and your stay in New Zealand. And number four is basically not understanding how the culture is and getting homesick and stuff. So a lot of students do face that when they arrive in New Zealand, because it's a new country for them, right? So they are exposed to a new culture, new country, new language. Everything is new. Nothing is same for them, right? So when that happens, they need a little bit of support from their family, friends who are already in New Zealand. If they have got nothing, just go on to Facebook and understand how many Nepali students are there in the city. Right now, what I can see is there's so much of Nepali students in New Zealand, especially in Auckland. So you can easily communicate and connect it with those people. And number five is basically not having enough connection with the employers, or so which is leading to poor opportunities, or poor performance in getting an employment. For example, if you are in New Zealand, a lot of employers who are Nepali or Indian or whatever, or even KV, you can easily access and get a job much quicker than a normal person is going to apply or get a job in a normal time frame, because you have a couple of references to use, and also at the same time you have access to different employers who may get a job vacancy, and they'll call you and say, we have a job vacancy now, do you want to join us? So always be connected and be a bit more active among your community, and also understand that you need to be very smart to survive in any country. It is not going to be easy. Many agents will say, oh, just walk into the country, you'll get residence in 2 days. That's never going to happen. You have to work, and there's so much hard work required. If you are someone who wants to do that, come to New Zealand. That's the best country for you. But if you want to just be lazy, then probably stay wherever you are, because that's not the right attitude for a migrant.
Yeah, so networking is really important.
It is.
Because if you don't have any connection, I don't know if anyone can survive in any country.
See, connections are very important.
Yeah.
See, that makes you connect with a lot of people. I'll give you another example. Turn your Wi-Fi off for 1 day on your phone. What happens?
You'll miss a lot of details.
Yeah, you miss calls.
Yeah.
You will miss new information. You won't even understand what's going on around you. So you are in a box. You don't know what's happening around you, right? Same thing. Turning a Wi-Fi off is similar to not being connected with people. When you be connected with people, you are exposed to more opportunities, more real life stories, more real life successful people. So you meet a lot of people who wants to help you in the future. So when I was a student a couple of years ago, I used to have a diary with me. So I write down every single person I meet. And I usually say, what are their positions? Where are they working? Because it's just a matter of, in my way, I wanted to have a specific list of people which I can go to. And also, I have a problem with my memory. So you can't remember. So if you're meeting like 10, 15 people a day, how are you going to remember in the next 6 months? So you need to write it down. So I always have a diary with the people which I need to go to, which really helped me, because I got my residence in a very, very fast period of time. Right? For example, when I finished my study, I got my residence during post-study work visa in less than 6 months.
I can see why it is really important. So people are really wondering about if New Zealand is spouse friendly.
Yeah.
So Please let me know.
See, New Zealand has the best rules right now for taking your spouse into New Zealand. For example, if you're coming on a master's study, you can bring your partner on an open work permit while you study. Also, your child can go to school for free, and also your partner can work full time. Also, when you apply for your post study, your partner will also get a post study, not post study, an open work permit, which they can work and explore. I have recently finished a residence visa application for a family where the student is still studying. Her partner is an IT person. He got a job in a very reputed IT firm, and he was eligible to apply under the straight to residence category. We applied for the straight to residence while the student is studying right now. Right, the entire family got residence. So things like that can easily happen in New Zealand because you can take your spouse along with you if you're taking the right bachelor's degree program, or you take a postgraduate or a master's degree or a PhD. Absolutely spouse friendly. New Zealand is a very spouse friendly country. You can bring your spouse into New Zealand, also a child into New Zealand without a problem. We also process a lot of partnership based visa in our Nepal office. So if you already received your visa through some other agent, and now you want to process a partnership based visa, come to Student Visa Network Nepal. We can process that for you.
So why should one choose Student Visa Network and not other agents?
So because we are a team of licensed immigration advisors, we have in-house licensed immigration advisors, and the entire company, the parent company, is Student Visa Network Global, which I own the company, is based in New Zealand. Also, we have another firm, Immigration Visa Network, which is an immigration firm. Both these companies jointly operate the rest of the branches in all these countries, and it is a team of licensed immigration advisors who is running the show, right? So basically, we have in-house team of licensed advisors. When you go to another agent, they are only taking an advisor from the market and contracting, right? So basically, you probably have no choice in talking to the licensed immigration advisor or understanding what the real story is. You only hear the agent, because the agent is not going to let you contact them directly, because they will lose the commission. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
So it's a real life world. So don't trust whatever people are going to tell you. So definitely agents get the commission,
Yeah.
and it's how it works.
So it's a business, but in the end of the day, students should be guided and mentored in a right manner. And I think Student Visa Network really does that. I've witnessed it myself. A lot of students came yesterday and the counseling was good. It was hour-longs and you really guided them. So I think on that note, you heard it from the best. So let's conclude this session. And if you have any inquiries regarding your visa, partnership, and permanent residence, you can contact Student Visa Network. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next time we'll definitely meet more people in Butwal or at Kathmandu.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon, and namaste.